just say the word. 45 seconds.
A swamp root to drink.
Swamp root, that's what it was.
Definitely
what it was. My pocket watch doesn't work. I'm jealous. Hey, listen, about this game. Nothing makes sense quite yet in Season 21. An Atlanta team that finished 11-1 with a playoff win has started off 0-2. A Florida team that finished with a losing record, so far undefeated after 2 weeks. One of these teams has a top 5 running back, and it's not Atlanta with BDG Hollywood, it's Florida with Bullet Boletsky. Expect the unexpected seems to be the theme. So what do you think we can expect from these two teams today?
Atlanta is struggling offensively and are at the bottom of the league in points scored, which is 9 points a game. And a total offense with only having 1 TD on the season coming into week 3. They will have to score much more than 9 points to keep up with a Florida offense, which averages over 45 points a game, with a rushing attack that averages over 200 on the ground per game. But Florida has a defense that has given up over 450 yards of offense to their opponent over the last 2 weeks, which gives Atlanta hope for getting their offense going. Whichever team can address their previous week's deficiency stands the best chance to come away in week 3 victorious.
All right, well, as Matt Wilson would say, there's only one way to find out, and that's on the field. We'll go down to the field where Florida will start things off on offense for us this afternoon. The legend himself, Ron Cochran, leading his offense out onto the field. 13 seasons in the league, all of which have been with Florida. 4-time All-Star quarterback. Getting ready for week 3. Four wide receivers set to get things started this afternoon, and without any hesitation, they go right to Boletsky, who gets a 10-yard gain and a first down on the first snap of the day. Gerald, he's number 3 in the league in rushing yards with over 400, second with touchdowns. He's got 6 already on the season.
Yeah, and he already got about 11 yards on that first carry. Just a simple pitch out, and he got a tackle out there to kind of lead the way. Great blocking by the wide receivers on that side too as well. So Atlanta's got to tighten up on that.
Ball is handed off once again. Gain of 2. Let's roll through the starting offense that just scrolled across the bottom of the screen. Ron Cochran is the quarterback. Charlie Boletsky is your halfback. J.W. Doyle is the fullback. Stephen Bush, Caleb Giffis, Art Vandelay, and E.J. Minson are the wide receivers. Veridin Zarkov and Ron Hain are the tight ends. The defense being presented now. Roll through those names after this play. Ron Haynes in motion. Pre-snap, 2nd down and 8. Cochran pitches it out to Boletsky. Met in the right at the line of scrimmage, breaks 2 tackles up the sideline, and finally knocked out of bounds after another nice gain. Let's talk about that starting defense for Atlanta. The defensive line, Mickey Gibson, Billy Ray Valentine, Leo Jefferson, and Joshua Williams. The linebackers, Cree Higgins, Shad Allen, and Diamond Blackwell, who got the first hit on Boletsky there but was unable to bring him down. The secondary, Jack Napier, Jay Miraculous, the Moose himself, Moose Papineau. Those are your corners, and the free safeties. Grant Hardaway and Chris Henry is the strong safety. 2 wide receivers out to the right, none to the left. 1st down at midfield.
Look like Atlanta starting out with some sort of a man coverage. It may spell trouble on those pitches that Florida's doing already this game.
Cochran hands it off direct up the middle, breaking another tackle, and surging forward for a gain of 10. Charlie Boletsky picking up right where he left off after the first couple of weeks. Gerald, he looks amazing so far in this one.
Yeah, and this is going to be a challenge right here for Atlanta so far, at least so far on this first drive right here, right? Trying to get a feel for what they're doing, but they've given them a heavy dose of Boletsky so far, a pitch route, and then that was kind of one just running, basically just, right up the middle and getting some good blocking and being able to break some tackles as well.
Boletsky in the league for 6 seasons, passed the 7,000-yard mark last week. The first pass of the day is incomplete. Ron Cochran, he's actually been doing quite well so far this season. He hasn't thrown it a lot. I mean, they've been obviously relying heavily on Boletsky. Boletsky's got 62 carries compared to Cochran's 25 pass attempts, but he's completed almost all of them. 84% completion percentage, best in the league. Hasn't thrown a pick yet.
Yeah, when you got 3 touchdowns and no picks on the season, and putting up the offensive.
Oh, throwing off his back foot, and there's a completion. Hitting E.J. Minson down the left-hand side. But, he's actually got 5 touchdowns and no picks.
Oh, he's ranked 3 in the league.
Ranked 3rd best with his 5 touchdowns. That's a pretty good pass attempt to touchdown ratio. 1 touchdown for every 5 throws. Not bad.
Definitely. And 84%.
Yeah.
First, number 1 in the league, and his QBR is top-notch as well in the league. And the protection he's getting is really, really good. He's only been sacked once over the last 2 weeks.
3 wide receiver set, but the pitch goes to Boletsky once again. This time met by a pair of tacklers, Cree Higgins and Jay Miraculous, combining to bring Boletsky down. Gain of 4, 2nd down.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to have to start tightening up right here as they're starting to inch their way toward the end zone. And I'm actually surprised Florida is actually, last couple of plays, they kind of threw a couple of passes. Especially the way Boletsky kind of ran it the first few plays.
Boletsky up the middle, just shy of the 1st down marker, brought down with 1 yard left to go. 3rd down and 1. And, getting close to scoring, Gerald. And scoring, boy, oh boy, have they done it. 2 games in so far, they haven't scored any less than 42 points.
Right, and the crazy thing about it is Florida's defense gives up almost 100 more yards per game than Atlanta does. Atlanta is actually giving up, about 350 to 360 a game.
Not even a contest right there. Boletsky untouched until he was about 4 yards past the 1st down marker. Moves the chains, 1st down and goal from the 9-yard line.
Yeah, the way that this drive is looking like similar drives that they've had the last 2 weeks, and getting themselves in a situation is driving down, being real efficient, not turn the ball over, relatively just clean football.
10th play of the drive about to take place. From the 8. Gave him a little bit more progress. Boletsky to the 5. Brought down after a gain of 3, 2nd down and goal.
See, and that's something they're going to have to do because a lot of teams have had trouble tackling Boletsky. Over the last couple of weeks. He wasn't all that successful last week, but we know his week 1 performance with well over 300 yards was amazing. So, but he's still hard to bring down, so you're going to have a teammate with if you want to bring him down.
Boletsky breaks a couple more tackles on his way down to the 2. 3rd down and goal.
And this is going to be really interesting here. I mean, do you keep it with Boletsky? Do you give it to Doyle? Or or do you kind of pass here?
Boletsky's averaging 6.8 yards per carry on this drive. You've got 1.5 yards to go. I'm giving it to Boletsky. We'll see what the Storm decide to do. Cochran under center. He'll pitch the ball out to Boletsky. Breaks the tackle into the end zone. Touchdown Storm. And they picked up right where they left off, Gerald. Scoring nice and quick.
Yeah, it was the perfect play that they ran against a defense that was loaded up like right up in the middle. And they had nobody on the outside. They kind of bunched and expected to kind of run right out the middle, but they tossed it to the outside. And that was, I mean, it being 12-play drive for 80 yards, it almost seemed too easy.
It did seem too easy
for Florida there. So
yeah, the Atlanta defense didn't seem to have an answer for Boletsky on that drive. And not only a 12-play drive, Gerald, going for 80 yards, but it also chewed up half the first quarter. It's only 5 minutes, 17 seconds to go in quarter number one. That took up quite a bit of it. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. Kyle Finnemore returns the ball and gets it up to the 31-yard line. That is where Atlanta will get things started this afternoon. Already down by 7 after allowing a touchdown on Florida's opening drive. But Bryant Dynasty, he'll lead his team back out onto the field. He's got almost 500 yards passing on the season. Top 3 in completions with 40. It's only thrown 1 pick. Hasn't gotten a lot of touchdown passes yet. Only 1 so far through the first 2 weeks. See what they can do here. Dynasty hands it off to BDG Hollywood, and he is stopped in the backfield for a loss of 1. Let's roll through the starting offense for the Atlanta Swarm. The quarterback, Bryant Dynasty. The halfback, BDG Hollywood. The fullback is Mitchell O'Brien. The wide receivers, Kyle Finnemore, Siege Falco, and Boo Chisholm. The tight ends, Phenom Shine and Why Not Arrowlet, the 25th pick in the draft. Carter Hollywood and Sam Falco are the tackle and left guard, respectively. Dynasty tries to take off, but is sacked. Brought down for a loss of 1. Ryan Tobin with the takedown.
And that's the thing that has been one of the issues maybe that nobody has even really noticed over the course of this season. That is the 9th time in about 2 games in 1 quarter that Bryant Dynasty has been sacked. He was sacked 5 times in week 1, 3 times last week, and already here in the first quarter he's already taken a sack as well. So I think they have some sort of a protection type issues happening in Atlanta.
3rd down and 12. Gets the pass away. Was it enough? No. They'll mark him just shy. Kyle Finnemore gets the catch, but marked at 4th and inches.
That was pretty close.
And there's going to be a challenge on that one, as coach didn't like what he saw. So Mark Chisholm throwing the flag. We'll take a look at the challenge. Let's take a retroactive look at the challenge presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com. Finnemore, it's hard to say from that angle, Gerald. Watching it live, I thought he got it.
I don't know if that's a perfect camera angle either, but it's close. I don't know if it's too early. It was too early to challenge though.
And the play stands. It's going to be 4th and inches. So now, unless you go for it, that was all for nothing. And I don't think they're going to go for it this far back.
Right. Look, and I think that was maybe some type of frustration type issue over the course of the last 2 weeks. Right. They're struggling to move the ball. They're struggling to score points. I mean, they've only scored 1 touchdown, and they've gotten 4 field goals. Right. They've only scored, 5 times over the last 2 weeks, and 4 more field goals. Only 1 has been a touchdown.
Could potentially be a long day for the Swarm here at the I in Fort Lauderdale, as Florida gets the ball back after holding Atlanta to a quick 3 and out. So Ron Cochran leading the offense back out onto the field. Only threw 2 passes in the first drive, Gerald completed only one of them to E.J. Minson. It was a nice 17-yard catch. Otherwise, 10 rushing attempts to Charlie Boletsky in one drive for 63 yards and a touchdown. I mean, I wouldn't even be upset if I was a running back and had 10 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown in a game.
Right, and they're actually averaging just over 200 yards a game on the ground as a team collectively. Florida is. So I mean, why would you not run it? You obviously have something successful going on there, and then your quarterback, when he does throw the ball, is like the most efficient quarterback in the league right now. He's completing well over 80%. So I mean, you have talk about running like a well-oiled machine, and that's exactly what they're doing.
J.W. Doyle got the toss on that one. Stopped after a gain of 1. They'll go back down to Boletsky on the second snap, and a great job by the Atlanta defense. They swarmed, I would say, around Boletsky.
Right, and they definitely did, and that's what they're going to need. They're going to need their extra defenders, right? They're on the back end, kind of to come in and help and bring the safeties up. But with an efficient quarterback like Ron Cochran, right, him being the Hall of Famer and all this good stuff, he knows where to throw it. So they're going to have to be careful with that too, bringing those safeties up to cover the run.
2 to the left, 2 to the right on 3rd down and 7. Cochran likely to throw on this one. Drops back, 5-step drop, rolls out to the left, and he decides to take off and run for it, and he's going to be stopped short. The defense, they played up just enough to be able to cover Cochran as he ran.
Well, if you saw the Joker, Jack Napier, he was running. He was so focused on covering his man, he actually didn't even see Ron Cochran right by him until it was too late. But Ron Cochran slid down because he just didn't want to get waylaid.
Marcus Agrippa with a nice punt, getting it down to the 18-yard line, pinning Atlanta inside their own 20. So the Atlanta defense during the first drive obviously couldn't figure out how to stop Boletsky. This time, not only stopped Boletsky, but then forced a 3rd and long. Got the quick 3 and out.
See, and that's the thing with Atlanta, right? Atlanta has not played bad defense over the course of their 2 games. And even so far, they haven't really played bad defense. Their offense just haven't been able to help them out. They haven't been able to get in a rhythm and put, points on the board to actually help the defense and the stops that they do get.
Dynasty on 1st down. He'll get that out to BDG Hollywood. Hollywood struggled to get things going so far this season, and so far struggling here this afternoon. Only gained 1, which will bring him back to a total of 0.
Right, and when you run into the rookie Jesus Smith, and then you got Leon Thunderman and some DBs on the outside meeting you at the line of scrimmage like that, it could be really, really tough to run the ball, especially on the edge.
Hollywood gets the carry once again, was able to break through the first tackle of Jesus Smith, and then brought down by Adrian Blaine. The starting defense for the Florida Storm will roll through the defensive line and linebackers. Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomaello, Alex Dominguez, and Pete Mitchell's the defensive linemen. Leon Thunderman, Jesus Smith, and Ryan Tobin are the linebackers. 3rd and 5, Dynasty to throw. He'll decide to take off with it himself and brought down by big, sexy Alex Dominguez with the sack and another quick 3 and out.
Yep, and it's the second drive where Brian Dynasty has taken a sack. That is the 10th sack he's taken on the season, which is way too much. I think he broke the pocket and tried to run out a little bit too soon. I don't know if all the sacks he's taken over the course of the season so far makes him a little bit premature to kind of try and get out the pocket and give himself some free space to either run or throw the ball. But they gotta do something else, because here it is. He's going on the second game in a row where he's going to get, possibly 3+ sacks on the game. So they're going to do something with the protection up front.
Fair catch called for back at the 39-yard line by Giffus. And Cochran back out onto the field once again. So a 12-play, 80-yard drive that took over half the quarter, followed by a 3 and out. So we'll see what they do here on their 3rd offensive possession of the game, with 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Quick moving first quarter thanks to that opening drive. And Charlie Boletsky gets the pitch, and in Boletsky fashion breaks through a tackle before finally being wrapped up by Moose Papineau, and they'll mark him short of the line to gain. Gerald looked like he fell past the stick to me, but I don't know.
Look, and that was great recognition by King Henry, right? Just coming right in off the edge. But if you look at it, Bolesky made somewhat of a sidestep and got him off his King Henry's center of gravity, and he just kind of was able to shed it as it kind of got him off balance, and it wasn't able to wrap him up.
Second down and inches. It looked like it was clearly a first down. I don't even think they're concerned about a challenge. They know at second down and inches, they've got 2 attempts to get Bolesky past that line and obviously easily do it right there.
Right. Whenever you got Bolesky coming into this game, he's running for over 7 yards a carry. I don't think you're really worried about inches.
No.
Right. He's going to get you those inches and 6+ more yards off of every carry.
4 down lineman for the Swarm. Bolesky out to the left. Breaks through more tackles and gets the first down. Brought down at the 30-yard line. That will tick away the final seconds here in the first quarter. But Bolesky on fire so far. Just shy of 100 yards on the day. There you go. 14 carries, 99 yards. Look at that average. Those are impressive numbers.
Right. He's right on par with what he's done, this season so far across 2 games at 7 yards a carry.
First quarter wrapped up just like that. Florida out in front, 7-0 over the visiting Atlanta Swarm. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. I'm Mike Daggs. He's Gerald Smith. Ron Haynes, Caleb Givens with us on stats. Cameron Irvine, our producer, back at SFL Studios. Flip sides of the field get things going here in quarter number 2. Charlie Bolesky, the man of the hour. 99 yards on the day so far. Cochran to throw. Goes over the middle and connects with E.J. Minson. Gets another first down.
Yeah, and look, and it's crazy because, Cochran has all this time to throw the ball, and you have guys on the Atlanta, side that's actually got, all-star experiences and everything else back there, and they're not able to apply any pressure right now. They're not able to even, kind of get penetration on the defensive front to even get themselves in a situation where they might be able to stop the run or anything like that right now. So it's tough sledding right now, especially whenever you force them to punt on the previous drive and your offense just sputters out to 2, 3 and outs.
J.W. Doyle trying to get some work in, and he does. He gets that work in all the way to the end zone. A 17-yard scamper for 6.
Yeah, and it's the pitches that they're doing right out of the split back formation that they're just not, the Atlanta defense is not being able to get to the point of attack right there. They're getting good block. That receiver on that end for Florida made 2 blocks. Stephen Bush blocked one guy, got him out of the way, turned inside, and blocked another guy, and propelled his team to get 6 points right there on that run by J.W. Doyle.
Ethan Snead on for the extra point. That was a highlight-worthy run, if I say so myself. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net, presented by Football Shift. Stay up to date and explore our past, present, and future. J.W. Doyle saying hi to his mom, I think, waving to the camera. Yeah, it just looks like that he was mouthing, "Hi, Mom." So...
Or maybe they just don't got microphones on the sidelines. So
Could
just
be.
Say hi, Mom.
No, we have them. We just muted it. Always, it's like, nah. They want to hear our voices, not Doyle's.
I agree.
Fenimore returns this one up to about the 25. Bounces out to the left.
Oh,
Stiff arms.
Snead.
Oh, Snead down to the ground. Up the sideline. Could he go? One man to beat, and he's finally brought down to the 24-yard line. What a return. That's the shot in the arm that the Swarm needed.
Definitely, and it gets him so close to red zone right now. He just popped up in there, broke a tackle, spun out, and then he takes it down to the Florida 24, gets a bit in well within field goal range. Now, this is a prime opportunity to get Atlanta back into the game. If they can come away with 7, I think they're going to send a message to Florida, say, hey, we're here to play today.
Dynasty over the middle. Wide open is boom. Medium rare. Chisholm gets the catch, gets the first down.
Right, look, and right off the bat, they get right down there. Now they're inside the red zone. They got about 11-yard catch right there to boot Chisholm. And this is looking really good right now. I think where they're struggling on offense so far this season in this game is in the run game, right? They haven't been able to move the ball in the run. And then when they drop back to pass, I don't know what Dynasty's seeing, from an offensive perspective and trying to get the ball to his wide receivers, but he can't continue to keep taking sacks like he has so far.
Gets their first down of the ball game, I believe. Dynasty to throw. Oh, pressure coming on his blind side and sacked. Brought down for a loss of 7. He didn't even see him coming in.
They blitzed like half the defense in right there. You think at that point you would have someone open. He was looking right at, he didn't see the guy coming at his blind side. He gets hit, then he gets hit from the front on the other side by the other guy. It's just, that's the 3rd sack for Florida on the day and a loss of 7.
Ryan Tobin credited with that one. On 2nd and 17, Dynasty towards the end zone. That one is batted away and incomplete. Threw it into double coverage there, Gerald. It almost looks like he's trying to force things now.
Yeah, and watch right here. He had big, sexy break loose. I think he threw a little bit too soon. And it seemed like if he would have just waited to look just a little bit longer, he had Why Not Airlet, the tight end, who actually had a stellar week 1, across the middle that it may be able to hit, but it seemed like he would just had his eyes on the defensive line. He's been sacked 3 times. I think he's tired of getting hit so far.
4 wide receivers on 3rd down and 17 inside field goal range, throwing towards the end zone, gets the catch. Short of the end zone, but gets the first down. Siege Falco with a big catch, first down and goal.
Yeah, and credit to Siege Falco right there by actually trying to get himself into the end zone, and that little extra effort he has actually allowed them to get that first down. Now they're going to have 1st and goal. Look, and you have 4 chances from right here inside the 2-yard line right here. I think it's 4 down territory, seeing how they've only scored 1 touchdown on the season so far. I think. And then you pin Florida back right here, too, if you don't get it. I think it's 4 down territory, even though it is the 2nd quarter.
I would agree. Ball is handed off to BDG Hollywood, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Are we sure he's in the end zone? It didn't really look like he got in unless he outstretched the ball.
I think he just put the ball over the goal line and said, good enough, I'm done.
Right. So he's like, we don't need to go in, right? We just need to get in there and get out. But look like, yeah, he looked like he may have broke the plane. It's a strange thing. But, hey, the referees gave it to him, called it, and here we are. I don't think they're going to challenge that because nobody brought him to the ground.
No, he could have, just slightly angled to the right, and I don't know.
Right, but thanks to Kyle Fenimore and his return, they were able to get the ball in the end zone and actually get their 2nd touchdown of the season on the board, and actually cut this lead in half and get them back in the game.
5 plays, 24 yards into the end zone for 6. It seemed like all Florida so far in this one, but it's just a 1-score ball game. Not too bad. Are you liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is nobody else that gives you more football than this league. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support.
That is a fact. Nobody gives you more football because you know what? There's in 1 full calendar year, 12-month span, you're getting 2 full seasons of this wonderful action right here.
Yeah, 2 full seasons of regular league action, 2 full seasons of minor league action, playoffs, championships in both.
Unmatched. All-star games.
Our producer is a busy boy. Speaking of busy boys, Charlie Boletsky. He's going to start running it again. Gets a gain of 5 on the first snap here for Florida in this quarter.
And this would be a perfect opportunity for Atlanta on this drive, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a 3 and out, but don't let these guys get in a position to get points on the board, whether it's a field goal. If you can force them to punt and get the ball back and actually get some more production out of your offense, I think Atlanta could be, really, really hopeful about their chances going into the second half.
Ron Haynes in motion down to the bottom of the set, and that is where Boletsky will head. Breaking through another tackle, breaks another one, and up the sideline again. Boletsky covered in butter. He can't be brought down.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It just shows you the strength of Beletsky right there, just shedding the linebacker right there, and then shedding the DB right there as well. And then they had to look like he tried to spin move, and King Henry come and just threw him out of bounds and like a frustration type of thing. It's like, get down. It's like stop running. But yeah, they're going to have to bring somewhat of a convoy to be able to keep Beletsky in check.
They're definitely going to have to play the run and just hope for the best in the passing game. This time he's hit behind the line of scrimmage, able to get back to the line and a little bit more. They'll spot him with a gain of 2 as the Atlanta defense discusses strategy.
Yeah, look, and King Henry has been a busy guy, right? The 7-season veteran. He knows how to stop the run. He's seen it after that first drive. You've seen him up toward the line of scrimmage a lot more, right? And he's one of the first guys to hit him or even bring him down. So if he can keep reading it like that and actually get his teammates on board with him to recognize just what he's doing as well, I think they're going to have some success in stopping Beletsky here. And now they just forced a third down.
Yeah, sure did. Stopped him for only another gain of 2, and now on a 3rd down and 6. You'd think Cochran would maybe pass on this one, but they're running the power I formation with the 3-receiver set, though. So they do go play action. Cochran deep over the middle, and he's got his target all the way down to the 35-yard line. Art Vandelay with the catch and the first down.
Now, and if you watch that right there, this is how effective the run game is being for the Storm here, because when they play faked right there, it brought King Henry all the way from his safety spot down toward the line of scrimmage and had the middle of the field kind of vacated right there. All they have is a free safety back there. So that's how your run game sets up the pass in those type of situations, because when that play action happened, King Henry ran right up to the line, and then he was like, oh, crap, I'm out of position.
Ron Cochran rolls out to the left, throws, and that one's nearly swatted down, but instead complete. E.J. Minson gets the catch, gains 9.9.
Grant Hardaway was a fingernail away from batting that down, and who knows, he may have tipped it up to himself and took it for a pick 6. Yeah, that was a kind of a dangerous pass by Cochran, but maybe he's one of those guys that like the riverboat Ron term.
Beletsky gets the first down. Like we talked about, Gerald, on a 2nd down and inches, it's not really going to take a whole lot of effort for Beletsky to get that. He'll get it either on the 2nd down or the 3rd down play.
It's this might be weird to say, but it seems like, hey, look, whenever they got up 14 points, they're just kind of playing around and they'd punt it back, and then all of a sudden, Atlanta scores and like, oh yeah, let's get serious about moving the ball now, and then they just start moving right down the field.
Wide
they
open.
know how to answer somebody else's score, and they've done it so far this season, and they're doing it again right here on this drive.
Almost in a demoralizing sort of way. Like, Atlanta's like, yes, we're back in it. Got a nice kick return, got into the end zone, touchdown, and then Atlanta's like, yeah, hold my beer.
Right, and it's sitting there, and it's almost like it's vintage Florida back in their dynasty days. That's what it looks like. So efficient, and it almost looks like it's unstoppable.
Cochran on 1st down and goal goes to Beletsky, surging forward, held just short of the goal line. 2nd down and goal, and heck, if I was Florida, I would just hurry back to the line and do it again.
Yeah. We could have drove a snowball truck through the line to the hole that they opened up right in the middle. It was so easy for Beletsky to get to the 2nd, almost 3rd level before he even got contact.
Now I want a snowball, and I don't have one
because it's delicious.
So good, so delicious. Beletsky, end zone, touchdown, Florida, making it look easy.
Yeah, there's not much to say about that. Beletsky's like, I ain't even going to do it. I'm not even going to worry about getting hit. I'm just going to dive right in. Almost took the knee out of his offensive lineman teammate in Joseph Wade. But, hey, he got it in there, and here we are. They're back up 2 scores.
Ethan Sneed for the extra point try. Charlie Beletsky, 130 yards on the ground so far on 22 carries with 2 touchdowns. Another double-digit 80-yard drive resulting in a touchdown. and chewing up even more clock, Gerald, as that drive alone went for about 4 minutes.
Yeah, and I don't think Atlanta had, a really, really lengthy drives themselves, right? They're not able to hold the ball on offense, and they got down there. See what Fenimore can do with a return here, but they're going to have to get something, look, if they're going to be Atlanta's track record so far over the course of 2 weeks isn't very good in terms of putting up points at a consistent pace. So if Florida keeps putting up points like they are, Atlanta is definitely going to have to match that, because if they don't, and they struggled all season so far, look, and Florida is a team you can do it against, right? Because they're giving up, 450 yards a game to their opponent. So if you have any opportunity to do it on offense and get your stuff fixed, it's this, because they're giving up a lot of yards to their opponent.
They're giving up over 30 points, per game through the first 2 weeks, although Atlanta last in the league in scoring so far. See if they can turn that around here in this one. One other thing is Medium Rare Chisholm gets that first down catch. Another thing to keep an eye on, too, over in the other game going on, Carolina, Queen City. Carolina actually ran Ike McBride into the ground in the first quarter, and now she's hurt. Might not even come back into the game. Who knows? So that's something that you always want to think about, too, when you're Florida. Too much of a good thing sometimes is a bad thing. You don't want to end up getting Boletsky hurt and just have to rely on Doyle and Cochran to get things done. But
maybe
we'll see what happens.
With the way he's been running, it seems like they done I don't know, transplanted with some titanium limbs or something, because he looks pretty indestructible whenever he runs the ball, and he has over the last couple of weeks. So, we'll see what's going on. But look, they're efficient in the pass in game 2. They just Florida can't do it no wrong right now. So, but Atlanta's across the 50, so we're going to see how they're going to get down the field.
Carolina ahead 3-0 in the game against Queen City. BDG Hollywood with a gain of about 3 yards.
Look, when your team is struggling, you can't have your offensive lineman pulling, and then they pull out, and then they throw a no-hitter when you have the opponents right in front of you to help out your teammate. Sam Falco pulls, but then don't hit anybody. Throw a straight no-hitter.
Hollywood on 3rd down and 2 gets the first down, moves the chains, and keeps this drive alive.
Yeah, they're doing what they got to do now. Now they're right inside the 40-yard line right here, and they're not doing. They're not doing bad on this drive, right? They're moving the ball, but they got to come away with points here.
Snapping it right before the 2-minute warning. Hollywood stuffed at the line. No gain on the play. Clock will stop with 1:58. 2-minute warning here in Florida. The Storm out in front 21-7 over the visiting Atlanta Swarm, but Atlanta in possession of the football. They're on a drive. They will also get the ball to start the second half. So, Gerald, if they're able to get this one into the end zone, tear up enough of this clock, they could potentially have 2 back-to-back scoring drives in a row and tie this up. So we'll see what they're able to do.
Right, and one guy that's having a hell of a game right now is Jesus Smith, the rookie, man. Got tackled for loss. He's got 3 tackles so far on the day, and he's everywhere right now.
Dynasty puts that one down to the bottom. Why not Arrowlet? Speaking of rookies, Arrowlet gets the catch, gains a few yards, 3rd down and 5. They'll let the clock roll.
Yeah, look, and he was so effective in week 1, Arrowlet, right, against against my Revs. He was so effective. I'm surprised that it's actually his first catch of the day today, because he's one of the bright spots on offense that they've had so far this season.
Dynasty with his 7th pass attempt, throws off his back foot, gets the catch. Chisholm with the catch inside the red zone, 1st down, and they'll still take their time getting back.
I would backpedal too if I seen Big Sexy coming at me. And then just throw it, and great for Bryant Dice being able to get enough strength on the ball while he's backpedaling to get it to his, all-star Hall of Fame teammate and Boo Chisholm. So it was great, and now they're in the red zone here.
Andrew Francis trying to knock that one loose, gets the tackle. Chisholm with another catch, steps out of bounds after a gain of 2, out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, and that's not bad at all, right? You get yourself a couple of yards and you're able to stop the clock. You save your timeouts because you only got 2 left because you kind of wasted one on a challenge way too early in the game.
Three receivers out to the left, one to the right. Dynasty under center. 7 of 8, only missed one pass so far. Throws that one over, gets that completion, first down and goal. And a timeout is called by Atlanta. They have one remaining. And Gerald, I would have let that clock continue to roll.
I would have let it continue to roll too. I think you saw me sitting right next to you, put my hands up like what kind of decision is that? But because you never know how these things are going to shake out right here. You know what I mean? I mean, look, I know you're 8 yards from the end zone, but you don't know how it's going to shake out. You may need that timeout for some odd reason. But now you only have one left.
Let's see what they do. Dynasty to throw. End zone, and it is
what a
caught.
catch.
Touchdown. Boo Chisholm. Atlanta's back in business.
When you need a play to be made, you throw it to your playmakers, and who else than the longtime veteran of this team, 14-season veteran in Atlanta, and Boo Chisholm just going up and mossing a couple of guys. What a drive and answer by Atlanta with about a minute left in the half. Now they're going to kick this field goal, and they're probably going to get themselves within 7 points, and their defense is going to have to step up to make sure that Florida does not get a chance to put points on the board.
That's the Nice Hands catch brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. Double coverage over their heads. Boo Chisholm's been doing it his whole career. That was beautiful.
It was an excellent. It was a nice cap to a really, really good drive that they had right there. A really great answer. And they've actually scored more points in the first half than what they scored at any game in the last 2 weeks.
The Hall of Famer approaching 14,000 yards receiving on his career. Third best in the league, behind only Optimus Klein. Behind Brett Killian. He's behind Optimus Klein in receptions, but behind the Canadian himself, Brett Killian, with, he's approaching 15,000 yards on his career. So Chisholm's still got a way to climb that ladder to get up there. But, hey, Chisholm's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Chisholm is in the Hall of Fame. And if I looked at that correctly, it looked like now Chisholm is 2 TDs from 100.
Sure is. So let's see how Florida answers with a minute to go. And, well, that's how they answer. They hashtag throw it to the tight end. Ron Haynes rumbling down the sideline. Oh, he looked a little slow, Haynes, but he got down the field. Sets Florida up in great position now.
Right, Mr. Haynes coming through with just like one of these short out routes there. Great protection on a blitz by Atlanta on that play right there. And Ron Haynes, he just took somewhat of a 5-yard out and turned it into a 52-yard gain.
Sure did.
And now they're in field goal range. This is what Atlanta should have stayed back.
Yeah.
And just make sure they kept everything in front of them. But when that's so demoralizing. They just had such a great drive, and Florida does one play, get themselves in field goal range.
Well, that's what we talked about on the last drive.
And then the time. They left too much time out there, too.
Yep, and that's why we didn't think they should be calling that timeout. But getting it down to E.J. Minson, he'll step out of bounds after a gain of 9. 39 seconds to go, 2nd and 1.
I don't know what to say about this drive here. I thought we were looking hopeful for Atlanta maybe to shut them down and then do it, but after one play, it just flips it right back in Atlanta's favor. It's and you know you're going to get some Doyer or Beletsky action right here.
Cochran will throw.
Neither.
Wide open once again, going back down to his favorite target so far this afternoon, E.J. Minson with his 6th catch on the day.
It's just so efficient. I don't know what else to say. Down here in Florida, I guess they love this heat and humidity they got working down here on a Saturday afternoon.
Cochran, end zone. Oh, tipped and picked off. That's what Atlanta needed. Diamond Blackwell with the interception in the end zone, and that is exactly what they were hoping for.
tip drill to himself, Diamond Blackwell. You look right there. Thank heavens that Creed Higgins didn't swat the ball out of his own teammates' hands, because Florida would have been looking at least 3 points.
Yep.
And the way they played today, they would have put up another point there. Very, very good stop by the Atlanta defense right here. And I think you just run this out and take it to half and make your adjustments as you need.
I would agree. Let's see what they do. Dynasty does indeed hand it off to BDG Hollywood. He'll gain 3, and with only 1 timeout left, it looks like they'll let the clock roll. Probably will snap it one more time. Ron Cochran with his first interception on the season, and that one couldn't have come at a worse time for Florida, a better time for Atlanta. That was looking like, once again, they were going to get up by 2 scores, and instead, with Atlanta getting the ball back as Dynasty gets sacked again by Ryan Tobin. Seems to be a theme today and so far this season, but it's okay, Gerald, because now Atlanta with that pick, they're going to get the ball back to start the second half. They still have the opportunity to get this game tied up.
Yeah, it's the 4th sack on the day. They're approaching the season high on sacks with Dynasty getting hit. If he gets sacked one more time, it matches the season high that he's been sacked. And that's got to approach number 1 in the league and getting sacked so far.
2 quarters in the books so far. Florida out in front 21-14. Atlanta looking a little bit more alive here in the second quarter as we head to halftime. Take a peek at the halftime stats and some snapshots of the half. Gerald, your thoughts on the first half so far?
I think, if you look at it on paper and actually what we've actually been seeing, it's actually been, it seemed like it's been all Florida, but somehow Atlanta has, and look at Bryant Dynasty, he only has 1 incompletion on the day. He's been pretty efficient, right? There hasn't been anything that's been overly dangerous from them, right? The defense is holding pretty true, right? And kind of get things in order, especially right at the end before half. They're able to kind of stop them from scoring any points before half right there. But one thing they got to do, they're going to have to keep pace with Florida. They're going to have to make some defense adjustments and be able to slow down Beletsky, as they seem to have done, kind of later in the second quarter there. So if they want to have a chance to win here, they're going to have to, score more points. They've actually scored more points in this game than they have in any other game. It's their season high of 14. And that's really strange to say from an Atlanta team that was 11-1 last season.
Yeah, exactly. Expect the unexpected here in season 21 as we head back down to the I here in Fort Lauderdale to get the second half started. I'm Mike Dykes. He's Gerald Smith. Ron Haynes and Caleb Givas with us on stats. Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios. He's our producer. He's got a game update for us from Carolina. Cameron Irvine, what do you got?
Thank you, Mike. Trellis Blanton in the first half in Raleigh is a perfect 9 for 9, including that touchdown to Doug Spelling. Queen City leads the injured Skyhawks 7-3 with Ike still out of the game. Hanzo's got 37 yards in relief. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cam. BDG Hollywood, he's not hurt, but he can't find a hole as he gets tackled back at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. We still haven't introduced the Florida secondary, Gerald, and it's the second half. Better late than never. Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, Adam Jones are the corners. Roscoe Jenkins, Adrian Blaine, Andrew Francis, and J.J. Bailey are the safeties. Now we have introduced everybody on the Florida Storm.
3 rookies on that Florida defense.
See how they hold up against a rejuvenated Swarm after halftime. Dynasty over the middle. Oh, what a nice dot. Kyle Finnemore getting the catch. Gets the first down, his 3rd catch of the day.
You can tell Bryant Dynasty had his orange juice at halftime, throwing a dart right there to Kyle Finnemore. Actually threw him open. He was able to just get it right there, throw it right past the linebacker. They have a nice pickup of a yardage right there on first down.
Bryant Dynasty, like you said, Gerald.
No.
Fumble. Oh, but it's fortunately bounces right into the hands of Mitchell O'Brien. A loss of 2, but that could have gone a whole lot worse.
Yeah, I think Hollywood's gonna say, "No, man, I was pitching it to you. I was pitching it to you."
That was a fumble. That was a designed play.
Because that's what
it's a read option right there.
It was something very, very unique. You know, how often you see somebody fumble and it just fall to a teammate's hands
Right
before it
into
even
his waiting
touches the
room.
ground.
That's how they drew that one up in the playbook. They're like, all right, just in case Hollywood fumbles, we're going to have O'Brien right there to pick that off right out of the sky. And Dynasty with his second incompletion of the day. That one into some traffic. 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, trying to hit Arlette right there, kind of coming right across the middle. I don't know. It wasn't a very good throw. It was a throw in traffic. I think he could let that stuff mature just a little bit more and see if he had anybody else open before making that first read and throwing it.
Dynasty to throw on 3rd down and 12. Has time, rolls out, steps way back, way down the middle and crossing midfield with the catch. Siege Falco, catch number 2 on the day, and that one's a big one.
Yeah, Siege Falco coming from all the way across the field, a 4-time All-Star, just coming all the way from the opposite side of the field to help out his quarterback to find himself open, and now they get to reset the downs. It's about a 20-yard gain.
22 yards per Ron Haynes in the stats truck. Thank you, Mr. Haynes. Hollywood gets the handoff again, still struggling to get things going. Gerald stuffed at the line, loss of 1, and Ryan Tobin. You mentioned Jesus Smith with the day he's having. How about the 12-season vet, Ryan Tobin? He's got sacks, tackles for losses. He's doing everything.
Yeah, it's one of these things, like the linebacker play of Florida right now has been excellent.
Whoa, and that one's picked off. Speaking of guys making plays, there's Ryan Tobin again. Add an interception to his stat line. Like I said, he's doing it all, and that brings Atlanta's drive to a close.
Yeah, he said, I'm about to get my bingo card out and check that one off, too, as far as interception goes, because he stood right there, just put his hands up and grabbed it down. That's another one all you people playing Ryan Tobin bingo can mark off.
Is that a thing? Is there a Ryan Tobin bingo card somewhere? If so, it wasn't brought up to the broadcast booth, which is a little disappointing. I like games.
Ryan Tobin's stat line, he's got 6 total tackles, 2 sacks. He's got a tackle for loss, a pass defended, and now you're going to add an interception to that. He don't have much to mark off.
No, he's just got to force a fumble and get into the end zone somehow. Then he'll have the hat trick. Oh, wide open, E.J. Minson. And just like that, Florida crossing midfield.
Right, and you would think right out. You know, the Atlanta defense would maybe keep an eye on him because he has been the favorite target. He's got 7 targets, 7 catches. He hadn't dropped one yet.
7-7 for 87 yards to E.J. Minson. Charlie Boletsky getting involved now, and Atlanta saying, I don't think so. Shawn Allen gets the tackle. They've seen quite enough of that.
Yeah, it's like just when you think Atlanta's got some momentum and they're moving, and it's almost like the wheels fall off. It's like they got to get together, put the wheels back on, maybe put a little I don't know, thread lock on it so the wheels don't fall off or something. But they're actually it's got to be demoralizing, especially on the defensive side. You make a stop and then you struggle.
Charlie Boletsky breaking tackles, and once again, Shawn Allen gets himself over there, brings him down. Ryan Tobin with that interception, Gerald. That was his 50th interception on his career. That's a heck of a career for a linebacker.
He's a former DB turned linebacker.
Well, yeah, but still, now he's a linebacker with 50 picks. So, I'm just saying. That's a lot of picks.
It is a lot of picks.
It's a lot of picks even for a corner. Cochran.
Oh,
he almost threw a pick himself. Cree Higgins right there, but Ron Haynes says, no, I want it, and I want to run with it again, but I'm still tired from that last run, so I'm just going to go right down after this.
Yeah, and they kind of had him sandwiched in. That was nearly perfect coverage, but Cree Higgins, I don't know, get on your jump, young man. You got to get it higher than your tippy toes to be able to grab that ball and bring it down. If Cree Higgins would have been 6'4", he may have been able to bat that one down, him being just a little bit shorter. Wasn't able to catch that one or even knock it to the ground.
Boletsky running forward towards the end zone. He'll get stopped. Second down and goal. And, it's looking more and more like Florida's going to be able to put another touchdown on the board on this one, Gerald. 24 carries, 146 yards.
Yeah, and I would expect this time that they won't do anything as Forrest thrown over the middle to give Diamond Blackwell a chance to intercept it again. Oh, wow, that's just so easy.
Boletsky walks in. He's literally slowed down and walked in there. Touchdown, Florida.
Yeah, that was way, way too easy. And they just pitched it out to him because you got everybody bunched up right there. Oh, man. And look, and you had Shawn Allen around the end of the, linebacker. He got good penetration, but unlucky for him, it was a pitch out, and he didn't really have a chance to even get there as the blimp crosses the field down here in Fort Lauderdale.
There it goes. It's a majestic blimp.
Airships are awesome.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is an airship a blimp? Is a blimp an airship? Are they the same?
Yes.
All right. Well, anyway, extra points up and through. 6 plays, 53 yards. Now available free to download. You can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K23. It's in the palm of your hands. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com. Search for SFL and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid is the official console of the SFL. That return brought up, well, there's a flag.
Oh, yeah, that should be a personal foul face mask. What?
Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah, but that was incidental. That I don't know anything about that was incidental. He actually tackled him by the face mask on that one.
Psh, nah, incidental. He accidentally brushed it.
Yeah.
And ripped it off.
Brushed it, grabbed it, tried to take his head off.
So Atlanta will start at the 32, down by 2 scores again.
Falco's going to need physical therapy for that neck, man.
Probably. Maybe we can take him to the physical therapist on an airship. Dynasty 11-14, 130 yards, a touchdown, and a pick on the day. He's going to need more of them touchdowns. Dynasty throws over the middle, nearly throws another pick. Tries to hit Chisholm, incomplete.
Yeah, Thunderman just stood there. He wanted his own. He wanted to replicate his fellow linebacker and Ryan Tobin and get his own pick. But couldn't really, and he had a little bit of a stone hand right there.
Second down and 10. Flip backs in the backfield. Hollywood with only 17 yards so far on the day. Dynasty to throw. Pressure on its way. Throws over the middle. Complete. Gets the first down to Arlette. And it'll move the chains. 5 minutes to go here in quarter number 3.
The way that Florida brought that blitz, they brought a safety up from the back. If Arlette could have broke that tackle right there, I think Atlanta could have kind of got some of that momentum back. And like I said, Arlette has actually been one of their bright spots this season. Been able to catch the stuff, you know what I mean? So he's actually, got, coming in this week, he had nine receptions. And today he's got another 2 to go along with it.
Pitch out to Hollywood, breaks through Tobin's tackle and finally brought down after a gain of 5. Sets him up with a second down and 5.
It's like they're Florida just knows. It seemingly looked like Florida just knows when Atlanta's going to run the ball, and they just have everybody there in pursuit. And Dynasty breaks one tackle. He's got a guy right there. Another guy he's going to have to try and fight through to get to it, and they're able to bring him to the ground.
Hollywood with 58 yards last week in the game against Florida. Has 22 yards in this one.
Under 2 yards a carry for Hollywood.
Only able to gain a yard there. Did I say Florida? I meant against the DC Dragons. Third down and 4 now. Probably going to put it back into the hands of Dynasty again. He's averaging 75% completions, Gerald. I mean, it's pretty good. Just have to see what they're going to do here on this play.
Yeah, and he's only got 4 incompletions right here, right? Look, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get another pass to Arlette right here, right? He's been one of the keys to success for
Play
them.
action. Flag on the
What is
play.
that?
Possible holding as they have a wide open Finnemore.
I hope this doesn't come back for Atlanta's sake. We're going to find out here.
And it is
no.
indeed holding. And that one is going to...
It came in.
Oh, no, it's defensive holding.
Oh.
Excuse me. So Atlanta will decline. And the play stands.
And it came in like at a bad spot from the umpire behind the quarterback there. So
Yeah.
it was in the area of offensive holding. I'm like, oh, it's going to be demoralizing for Atlanta right here. Had a big gain to Kyle Finnemore. It'd only be a race, but it was actually on the defensive side.
Hollywood stuffed in the middle. Tries to break to the outside. Can't do it, but they'll spot him with a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9.
And there's Jesus Smith again, continuing his stellar day today. But if you watch the defensive front by Florida, they're actually pushing the Atlanta offensive line into their own backfield and just muddying everything up.
Dynasty changing the play. Puts Arrowlet in motion. Dynasty to throw. Blitz on its way, and
There
they
he
take
is.
advantage of that. Arrowlet gets the catch, 1st and goal from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, and he has been, like I'm going to say it again, he's been one of their better guys that's kind of been coming in here and kind of making plays, right? The way they utilize him in week 1, and maybe they got away from it in week 2, but here they are in week 3. They're kind of getting him right over the middle. That's where he had his success in week 1. And the rookie at pick 25 in this last season's draft here is being able to produce.
Dynasty throws
Oh,
up top. Arrowlet caught,
touchdown.
dives, touchdown, Atlanta.
And they keep throwing it to him. They know Dynasty has confidence in the kid. And there he is throwing it to him. Arrowlet on a nice out route about 5 yards down, being able to turn up. And Boo Chisholm, being the veteran Hall of Famer that he is, throws an excellent block to help his teammate get propelled into the end zone to cut the lead to 1 score.
Evan Carroll was the only one that could have stopped Arrowlet from scoring, and Boo Chisholm holds him back. Extra point try from Sammy Steele on its way, and Atlanta now has scored more points in this one than they have all season combined, although I guess they did that earlier on. But 8 plays, 68 yards into the end zone for a touchdown. Arrowlet, 4 receptions for 44 yards with a touchdown on the board, adding on to his season stats. So now it's on the shoulders of the Atlanta defense, Gerald. We've seen this story before where Atlanta looks like they're back in it and Florida just rips their way down the field and just demoralizes them. So let's see what they're able to do here on this drive.
Yeah, and this is going to be a deal right here. Say, look, the offense of Atlanta says, hey, look, we're getting there. Now we just need you guys to help us out and actually get a stop so we can actually, be on par with these guys as for a score goal. You get us the ball back. I think they got the confidence on the sideline from, everybody telling, especially Bryant Dynasty, say, hey, you guys get us the ball back. We're going to tie this thing up.
So 1st down and 10 from the 20. They'll go right back down to Boletsky, and he's met in the backfield. Sean Allen's made the biggest adjustments, I think, at the halftime, Gerald. Since the first half, Boletsky's been held in check, and it seems like every time Boletsky's tackled, Sean Allen either makes the tackle or hits him first to slow him down.
Oh, yeah, Sean Allen made that play what it was right there on 1st down. He shot the gap right there and able to hit him and slow him down so his teammates can come and clean it up.
They'll go back down to Boletsky once again. Sean Allen gets the first hit, slows him down, gets the stop, 3rd down and 4. And this could be huge for Atlanta if they could get a quick 3 and out. But a big 3rd down looming for both of these teams.
Right, and that's like Sean Allen coming in right there, getting the first contact, and King Henry actually being able to come up too right there and not being afraid anymore. Leaving the back end open, being able to assist with that tackle to force his 3rd down.
Cochran to throw on 3rd down and 4. As time gets it out to Boletsky. Boletsky.
Oh!
He is. No!
Whoa!
They'll spot him the 1st down, and we might see Mark Chisholm throw the flag on that one. That one's worth a challenge. I don't know about that first challenge they did. That one I would. I thought they held him short. And there he is.
Yeah.
Spike that flag, Chisholm.
Yeah, I think I was like, wow, I was kind of jumped out of my seat a little bit there because And these third downs so close like that, you've been seeing Bullet Boletsky convert these things with no issue. And these guys coming in there, nice pursuit coming out the backfield by the defense as the running back catches the ball.
Let's take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com, and we'll see.
He ever had it? I don't think he did, ever.
It's so close. It depends. I mean, did it cross the yellow line?
No.
It touched the yellow line. Did it go far enough? The
It's
call on the
overturned.
field is
Yeah,
overturned.
they just forced the fourth down. This is what they needed. This is what they look. Is Atlanta going to be? Is Florida going to be like, hey, look, we're gonna roll the dice and kind of go right here in an effort to try and put them away late in the third? I don't think so. I think they're going to play the odds and say, hey, look, Atlanta's struggling, all season to move the ball, and Atlanta has, by the way, scored more in this game than they have in the previous 2 weeks. They had 19 combined the last 2 weeks. They got 21 points today.
A rare Marcus Agrippa sighting as he boots it to the other side of the stadium, as he often can do. Atlanta with it on their own 34-yard line. We have an update from Raleigh, North Carolina. Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios.
Thank you, Mike. Trellis Blanton continues his impressive day. Doug Spelling's over 100 yards. James Matthew Jr. with this touchdown. 14-10, Queen City leads Carolina. It is now into the third quarter. Back to you guys in Fort Lauderdale.
Thank you, Cam. Atlanta finally with an opportunity to try to get this game tied back up. What are they able to do on this drive? We will see. They're going to start with a dynasty throw. Brian Dynasty back to Arillette.
Why not throw it to Arillette? Because he's actually had success on the last drive, and here they're starting out. They're going right back to that well that's been working for him, and he's open. And he's been open quite often, throwing it right over the DB's head right there. Nice route by the rookie, and here he is reeling in another catch for his team. That'll be his fifth catch
A whole
of the
bunch.
game.
That's his fifth catch of the day. Dynasty 16 of 20 now. Arillette 5 catches for approximately 56 yards. Dynasty to throw again, and now he's wrapped up and brought down. Sack, big sexy in the backfield. He's hard to get away from.
Right. That makes sack number 5 on the day, matching the season high in a game that Dynasty has been sacked. And it comes by none other than Big Sexy himself for his second sack of the day.
Alex Dominguez, he's made a career out of sacking opposing quarterbacks. I know Matt Wilson was terrified of him.
Have you seen that man? Like, he's a large man, but he's still sexy. That's the thing about it.
Oh, Dynasty with another dot. Kyle Finnemore gets the catch, moves the chains. His 5th reception of the ball game. Chisholm with 5. Finnemore with 5. Arillette with 5. Dynasty's getting it done. He's just got to stay efficient and take care of that football.
And here we are entering the fourth quarter.
There we go.
Really good game going.
3 quarters in the books. 10 minutes to go here in Fort Lauderdale. The Storm out in front, 28-21 over the Swarm, but the Swarm are flying down the field. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Mike Daggs here with Gerald
Simulation
Smith.
Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Mike Daggs here with Gerald Smith. Ron Haynes with us on stats, along with Caleb Givas. Cameron Irvine, our producer, cutting me off. Dynasty. Quick pass over the middle, and Chisholm gets the catch and gets the first down.
Dynasty is living on the edge, and he's feeling really good about his throws that he's doing, because here it is right there, and you had Ryan Tobin potentially trying to knock it down and maybe even pick it off for a second pick of the day, but it wasn't to be done. Dynasty is feeling really good about how he's playing today.
from the 28-yard line. Dynasty with an I formation in the backfield. 18 to 22 over 230 yards. Now he's going to pitch this one out to Hollywood. Hollywood still unable to find a running lane. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and you can see his frustration right there, right? It's not the type of game that BDG is actually used to having, right? He's used to hitting that spin move and actually taking off and kind of putting games away or getting his team back in games. But the way the Florida defense is holding them in check can be quite frustrating for him in that Atlanta offense.
Dynasty rolls out to the left. Quick pass to Arrowlet. Gets the first down inside the red zone.
Yeah, when you need a big play, it seems like you just get it to Arrowlet. And Dynasty is doing his thing, right? Just taking it on a simple rollout. Arrowlet just comes right on the tail end of it. Find himself open. And they're moving the ball, being really efficient. Look, and 174 of those passing yards that Dynasty has been, and I'm pretty sure a pretty good bulk of them has been to Arrowlet right there.
Yeah,
over 60 yards.
Arrowlet's leading the team in receiving yards so far in this one. Hollywood takes that handoff once again for no gain. 2nd down.
And they have two of the best defenders on that same side of the defensive front right there in Tomaello and Big Sexy on that side, running toward the left side of that Atlanta offense is going to be trouble, and it has been.
They're going to continue to try to go to Hollywood. Oh, gets the best run of the day into the end zone, and they're an extra point away from tying this up. Touchdown Swarm.
And see, and right as I mentioned it, them running to the left side of that line has not been successful because of the strong defensive defenders on that side. What do? They finally noticed maybe what I noticed and said, hey, let's go to this right side and let our guys lead our way through. And they pitch it and toss it to BDG, and he's got a run that he's accustomed to having, and he gets his team within 1 point of tying it up.
A 17-yard touchdown run by BDG Hollywood. He's got 41 yards now on the day. Almost half of them came from that one pitch. Getting into the end zone, his 2nd touchdown on the day. Extra point try from Sammy Steele, up and through. And 8 minutes, 9 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. We've got ourselves a tie ball game. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and find the perfect track for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. We got a pair of good games going on, Gerald. We got a tie game here with 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, over in Raleigh, Queen City at Carolina, 14-13, a little more than midway through the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and you would have thought after it was 14-0 Florida in the 1st quarter, it was looking pretty bleak for Atlanta.
Yeah.
But credit to them, right? They kept battling through their offensive struggles, and now they had, they're pretty close to doubling their output the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what the Atlanta defense can do, and the Florida offense is Cochran finds Minson down the right sideline. They're already past midfield on one play.
And Minson does it one-handed, just nonchalantly, just grabs it out of the air with the one hand.
I got
and it's like, I'm wide open. Nobody's within 5 yards of me. But what a throw right there by Ron Cochran, too. He throws it in the perfect spot.
Just palmed the ball. He just caught it, palmed it. Didn't even try to secure it with a second hand.
Right. I'm
just going to take this.
He's like, I got this. I'm wide open. Just throw me the ball. I got it.
8 receptions.
It's like they have no worries right now, Florida. That's the way that looks. No, no matter. It's tied. We're still comfortable.
Cochran going back that direction, but this time finds Ron Haynes with the jumping catch. Way to hold on to it. Hashtag throw it to the tight end.
Yeah, Ron Haynes goes up. The big man goes up and takes a huge hit and gets thrown to the ground by the Joker, Jack Napier, but still able to hang on to it.
He might not have top-end speed, but he's got some good hands.
Yeah, I can't believe he hit on the ball. It almost like body slammed him, or I don't know what you call that wrestling move, a power slam or something. I don't know.
Haynes approaching the 100-yard mark on the day as well. E.J. Minson, the leading receiver for Florida, but Haynes heavily involved. And Boletsky chased down by Shaud Allen. Darn near shut down here in the second half. He's only got about what, 30 yards in the
Yeah,
second half, 40 maybe.
Right, they've actually made those adjustments right there for them to get themselves. Atlanta has, right, to be able to stop Boletsky from running all over them. But as we've seen with Florida, right, they're still able to throw the ball extremely efficiently. They only have 2 incompletions Florida on the day, and 1 was a pick.
Yeah. And now they are inside scoring range with Ethan Snead's leg, and Boletsky able to get down to the 20 before Allen brings him down. First down and 10, just on the edge of the red zone.
Sean Allen is a man on a mission because he's all around Boletsky when he's running the ball. He's like they must have gotten to half, be like, look, yeah, Shaw, just run around wherever Boletsky goes. That's where you go. Don't worry about nothing else. Where he goes, you go.
But look at that stat line, though. I mean, 29 carries, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns. Boletsky able to get stopped there, but still gains 4. 6 minutes to go. There's plenty of time. So, I mean, really, at this position on the field, Atlanta's defense, they need to hope for another turnover or at least get the stop, force the field goal.
Yeah, I think a really big win here for them, right, would be forcing a field goal because they've been doing pretty good offensively, getting the ball down.
Now Boletsky kind of got a little tangled up there. Cree Higgins slowing him down before he's tackled.
So if you're Florida, right, what do you do right here on this 3rd and 3 as we start approaching the 5-minute mark? Like what do you do here, right? So do you just run it, right? We know Boletsky's having a really, really good day at 5.5 yards a carry.
Cochran's doing good too, though.
It's I mean, what do you do here?
I would go to Boletsky, but I would also trust it with Ron. They do indeed go to Boletsky, and it doesn't work. Oh, but give him the first down again.
I think there's a challenge coming on this one too. That was very, very good run pursuit on a pitch out there.
Can he challenge though? He's already challenged twice and lost one.
Oh, no.
I don't think you can challenge again unless you won both. I would.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the gamble.
That's the downside of challenging way early.
That's the gamble. So first down and goal. Boletsky looking fresh. Gets up to the 6-yard line. Second down and goal. So, that looked short to me, Gerald, but it's over and done with now.
Can't do it. Oh, man. I can just see Mark Chisholm just kind of, like saying to himself, gosh darn it, why did I challenge so early in the game? It really wasn't all that important at that time.
Yeah.
Because this is huge, especially as the fourth quarter's winding down. It could be the difference between a field goal and a touchdown.
Boletsky takes the handoff, runs towards the end zone. They're not going to stop him. Florida back in. Touchdown, Charlie Boletsky, his 4th on the day.
And you're going to see, if they show us a replay here, the dominance by that offensive line just pushing those defenders back. And they just couldn't do nothing as Boletsky just kind of just ran through and made it really easy. Look, and we're going to circle it right there and show, hey, look, all the blocking on that side and how it worked.
And if you saw number 71, the guard, he actually made it to the end zone before Boletsky. He has blocked his way right into the end zone. He's like, I'm in. Should have just handed me the ball. Blocked by J.W. Doyle. Also on the play, opening up that running lane. So extra point is up. And good. 35-28 in a high-scoring back-and-forth game. We go 9 plays, 74 yards, just under 4 minutes. And, Gerald, we got a great couple of games going on. There's more games coming up later on today. This evening is another 4 block of games around the SFL, beginning at Estadio Matt Wilson, where the Mexico City Aztecs will welcome in the Portland Fleet. The night is headlined by the Houston Headhunters home opener against Indianapolis, with both teams fresh off a win. You can check out Denver Sioux Falls and Canton Motor City, too, starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time only on SFL YouTube. And if those games are anything like these, you're not going to want to miss a single one of them. So starting from the 20-yard line with 4 minutes, 14 seconds to go, and Atlanta hoping to get this thing at least tied back up. BDG Hollywood takes the carry up the middle. Good for a gain of 5 yards.
Me neither.
Hollywood with 40 yards on the day.
Yeah, and that's not bad. I think they're going to have to – they're not in a huge rush here, right? They got to go down. They got to be pretty calculated about the plays that they choose right here to get themselves in a position to get down the ball, get down the field, and actually score. So it's – we're approaching 3.5 minutes right here. It's 3rd and 2. Is every down here 4-down territory? I don't know. I mean, they have 3 timeouts. They don't pick nothing up right here. I mean, if you get what's inside 2 minutes, I think you're in a situation where you got to
go to Hollywood. Hollywood's stuck
wow.
behind the line, and no, I would punt for sure. And then you got to put it on your defense and start using those timeouts. But surprised that they did 3 in a row.
Here we are.
And okay.
It's the offense right here. And I'm very surprised in this situation, given the yard to Airlet's not out there.
Dynasty to throw.
No. Oh, that was a jailbreak.
Sacked, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. Florida takes over at the Atlanta 23-yard line. And Gerald, dare I say, that's ball game because, I mean, in this field position, Florida, unless they make a costly turnover mistake, I mean, they're going to score something, and then it's a 2-score game. And I would have punted it away. It's still plenty of clock, plenty of timeouts.
And that's the 6th sack of the day for Florida too. I mean, if you punt it away, you got 3 timeouts, and then you actually had the 2 minute. You have to essentially have 4 because you had the 2-minute warning if it even gets to that point. So you didn't do yourself any favors right here. You would have had something that should have been like what as we call in the coaching field a money play to better make sure you pick up those yardage, and they just didn't.
So Beletsky runs forward, and be interested to see when Atlanta starts calling those timeouts, see if they want to conserve clock before the 2-minute warning or after. So far, it looks like they will wait.
And this is also the point too, right? If you're not going to call your timeouts now like this, why would you go for it on 4th down? If you're going to wait till it gets under 2 minutes to call those timeouts, you could have just punted it down the field.
Yep. So not really sure about the decisions there, but they have been made. They are what they are, and now it's up to this defense to try to get a turnover.
Beletsky is as sure-handed as they come.
Beletsky. He'll gain 5 on the play. Sets up a 3rd down and 3. So this is key. They got to at least get this stop and force the field goal so that they can at least have the 2 minutes to try to get down the field and score something, even if it is just a field goal of their own, and then they'll have to go for an onside kick.
Yeah, but it's the way. I mean, they haven't been really efficiently moving the ball down the field, so I still think it's a struggle. I just think they kind of threw in the towel by going for it there. It seemingly turned out that way.
2 minutes to go here in this one. Florida out in front and in control.
If Florida puts the ball in any kind of an air here, I think it's a huge mistake. Even if they convert it, I think it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk.
Now they hand it off to Beletsky, and he'll get the 1st down. Atlanta will be forced to use their first timeout. Two remaining. So now Atlanta's definitely going to be burning through all of their timeouts, and they just really at this point just have to hope that Florida just makes a questionable choice, goes to the sky and throws an interception, or if they're able to punch it out of Beletsky's hands.
Oh, look at this! Wow, what a great on-field tackle by King Henry. Like that's the type of tackle that they needed early on in the game to be able to get themselves right in a situation where Bullet Beletsky won't run on them, because that pitch or sweep or whatever it is to the outside there just is kind of it killed them early on in the first half and put them behind an 8-ball a little bit, and they've been playing catch up the entire game up until the 4th quarter where they tied it.
Yeah, and they have been playing catch up the whole game, but they've been able to do it. Great open field tackle there by Moose Papanow as they burn their final timeout. But credit goes to the Swarm. They've been in this game from the beginning all the way up until that 4th down attempt. And, it's certainly a good turnaround from their performance in the first couple of weeks. And now they've got a couple of home games coming up. They host Carolina, and they will host Motor City. So a couple chances for them there. And more broken tackles. That's going to be the ball game. Charlie Bolesky into the end zone once again. And that will do it. Florida is going to go 3-0.
And that just shows you how dominant Bolesky can be and how dominant he's been in the season so far with being able to break a tackle and break that first one, which was a pretty good hit, and then shedding Moose Papanow right there and just getting in the end zone. So it was, we had 2 punts from Agrippa.
That's it, yeah.
In this game, right? I mean, look, Atlanta did what they could, right? It was an admirable performance, but the offense kind of started turning it on too late, and the defense just couldn't sustain like the offensive output by Florida.
6 plays, 23 yards. They get into the end zone once again. Gerald, with that touchdown, with that extra point, this is going to be 3 consecutive weeks of at least 42 points scored by this Florida offense. They are just on fire. Charlie Bolesky leading the way. Ron Cochran getting it done as well. Very efficient day. He did throw a pick, but otherwise only 1 incompletion.
Yeah, and look, it's not that is it a case this game of Atlanta just not being able to keep up with Florida offensively because we know about their struggles they had coming into this week, or is it just Florida, right, being that dominant because they played a Queen City team last week that was also able to put up a lot of points and 29 points against this team, and today they gave up 28. So I just think the offensive power by Florida right now is too much for teams to handle at the moment, right? They're going to have to get there, and they're going to have to game plan and actually figure out what, how they're going to stop them. And it's God, that's a 7th sack.
That one looked like the most painful of the bunch.
The 3rd for Big Sexy on the day.
That's a big man to land on you, too. Dynasty gets it out to Siege Falco. They'll go into the hurry up. Atlanta's going to fall to 0-3. Dating all the way back to season 8 when they started. They have never started a season 0-3. Their worst start that they've ever had was 0-2. All the way back in season 12. Otherwise, they've almost always not only won their first game, but won their first 2 or 3 games last season, starting out 7-0 before finally losing their first ball game. So this uncharted territory for Atlanta as they will go 0-3 for the first time in franchise history, as they will continue to keep on fighting here.
Right, and this is something too, right? It's just like Florida. It's anybody who is questioning Florida, maybe some of the opponents that they face. I mean, these guys are real.
No, they're real.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, right, they have actually, for every team that they have beaten, right, people are going to look at stuff on paper like this, right? So Baltimore has not won a game. Atlanta has not won a game. And at the time, it was actually Queen City's first game of the season, and they had not won a game. So they have gotten 3 wins against 3 winless teams at the time that they played those teams. So
right.
if people are going to look at that and be like, oh, yeah, man, where they play those teams. Well, I'm on the opposite side of thinking, hey, Florida is for real, right? They're coming there, and those teams are winless because Florida has come in here, has showed up and actually performed at a very high level on offense. Their defense isn't all that great, but their offense has done stellar stuff and running efficient. And to me, it looks like vintage Florida back from their dynasty days when they won their 3 championships.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because I was going to say the first time, I should say the last time that Florida was able to start 3-0, because typically they actually don't start well. The last time they started 3-0 was back in season 10 when they actually started 5-0. What did they go on to do in season 10, Gerald? They won their first of 3 consecutive championships. So that was last time we saw that sort of 3-0 start. And since then, I mean, they actually usually lose in week 1. They've had an 0-1 start, and they had a couple of winning season starts, 2-0 and then 1-0. But since season 15, they haven't started with a winning record more than once. They started off 1-0 in season 19, 0-4 to start last season, and now they're about to go 3-0 here in the next 36 seconds.
Look, and look at Atlanta. Look, we're sitting here talking. I mean, Atlanta's actually giving themselves a chance right here.
They're on their way down the field. I mean,
the odds are not in their favor, right? But hey, look, if they can punch this in right here and somehow get that onside kick, I mean, they got a chance to tie for overtime.
There's a chance. So maybe everything I just said is all wrong, and we need to rewind to the last 2 minutes of commentary and redo all of it.
Right.
Who knows?
It's like me too. Like we're talking as if they're dead in the water, but
17 nails in the coffin. In fact, there's even some lag bolts holding that thing down. Atlanta says, I don't think so. I'm about ready to score. Oh, tipped and incomplete. Almost got that touchdown, though.
And that's it.
That's going to be the turnover on downs.
And there it is. Maybe we were right all
We were
along.
right the whole time, just like we knew. We just knew it. Great showing by Atlanta as they continued to fight. Boo Chisholm with a rare drop in the end zone. That would have set up the onside kick, but was not to be as Atlanta takes over at their own 2.5-yard line. Florida will take just a couple of final snaps. I don't think they can. Yeah, they won't be able to kneel this one, so they'll hand that off. Boletsky still in, stuffed at the line, but that'll be it. No more timeouts. That'll bring us down to 0.
And those who are betting on this thing, Florida covers the spread, right, by a half of a point. So those who bet on the game, you can feel pretty comfortable that Florida has won you whatever money you bet.
There you go. It's always fun to bet and win something. That's your final 42-28. That'll wrap up today's game. Gerald, your final thoughts on this one?
Not much final thoughts, but Florida has been dominant as they've been all season long so far, putting up huge numbers on offense. Their defense, isn't the greatest when you look at it on paper. But hey, look, when you have an offense like they do, you're off. Sometimes you're a really super high-powered offense can be your best defense sometimes, and I think that's what Florida does, right? They force you in a position to put up points, and that's exactly what they did. They put up a boatload of points, buku points, and Atlanta answered at one point in time, but it was just too much for Atlanta to come back on. And on Atlanta side, I think they end up in a situation where, hey, look, they found something that can work. They scored more points than what they've ever scored this season so far. They put up 4 touchdowns as opposed to previous weeks. They only had 1 total in the past 2 weeks. So I think both of these teams are heading in the right direction. Florida for sure. Atlanta's got to figure some things out still, but I think they're finally got their feet under them. They can actually start prepping to actually win some of these games going forward.
Atlanta falls to 0-3. Florida advances to 3-0. Both teams on a bye week next week. Atlanta returns to host Carolina. Florida on the road to Charleston. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Final score, 42-28, Florida. For Gerald Smith, Ron Haynes, Caleb Giffis, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who will always be with me in spirit, I'm Mike Dagg saying thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy and have a great afternoon.